Kymn Anderson is the president of Faribault Area Chamber of Commerce and Tourism. And Kymn, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I've had a few breaks.
Yeah, well,
and I've gotten a few breaks.
Yeah.
But I'm doing well.
Yeah. Well, wasn't it last winter you fell on the ice?
Yeah, a year and a half ago. Yeah.
Is that long ago?
Yep. Time flies. You know what? Time flies when you're having fun, and even when you're not having fun.
That's true. Did you go to any of the neighborhood parties last night?
I did.
24.
I did. We had one in our neighborhood. It was held at the home of Dolly and Tom Birchfield, right on 4th Avenue, and we had a lot of neighbors come. The rain kind of kept everybody away early on, but they started wandering out after they peeked out the windows and saw that we were out there with the food and the fun, and we had a lot of great visitors. We had several city council members stop by, and the police chief and the mayor. We had some people from the fire department. It was kind of a treat for us. We also had one of the young officers that's part of the Explorer program that actually grew up in the neighborhood. So we all knew her when she was a little tiny squirt, and now she arrived as an officer in the midst of her training to become a police officer. So that was really, really fun. We had a great time.
No, it's fantastic. Of course, good food.
Well, a lot, the neighbors all brought food, so you know how that is. Everybody's got their favorite recipe or treat or whatever. And then Nort Johnson, who also lives in the neighborhood, brought by some of the leftover sambusa from the party that took place at the community center, which was kind of the open, to the whole community. It's kind of nice that they have that for those that don't have a neighborhood party, but it also is kind of tough to choose when you're in our position. Our neighborhood had a party, which one to go to, but Nort helped us out, brought us back some sambusa that we could enjoy, and it was great.
Leftover sambusa.
Yeah, I suppose, but maybe the crowd was a little less because people wondered about the rain, but it was a very nice night, and I'm glad that there's a growing number of neighborhoods that are hosting those events, and hopefully it'll be something that just does nothing but grow and grow. I know the council members and the law enforcement officers and fire department personnel that came were just really happy to interact with people and talk about things that are going on in the community and be there in a very positive way.
Folks in the Minnesota Correctional Facility came down with their canine unit down at the community
center.
How
wonderful. Yeah, that's great. I heard there was a pretty good contingent from the correctional facility in Faribault, which is a wonderful neighborhood to bring in from the people that work there. That's a great idea. And hats off to the folks at the library and the community center for putting that on and making that such a great community event too.
You know Sam Oak?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
He cooked up some of his Cambodian meat sticks.
Oh yeah, I bet that was great.
Have you had it?
I have not.
Oh my word, they're so good.
Well, I'll have to tap Sam for some of that. And then I know that there was face painting and henna.
Yep.
Henna drawing. Was there music and dancing?
Yes,
and all
Relativity
of that?
was there. Dr. Hildebrandt played his relatively new ukulele and did a solo.
Okay. Oh, that's wonderful.
Might have been the first ukulele solo in public by Dr. Hildebrandt.
Well,
it was very good.
Such a talent that he is. I'm sure that he could pick up any instrument and make it sing.
He was telling me after they concluded that he bought this ukulele in Hawaii.
Oh, really?
Well, if you're going to buy a ukulele,
why not?
That would be where I would buy
I do
one.
know, though, that they have ukuleles at the Music Mart right across the street from me on Wilson Avenue. I've been going in there lately with grandkids, and they've got lots of fun things there. But that's fun, ukulele solo by Dr. Hildebrandt. Good for him.
No, that was a good time. We're going to talk about some chamber events, I promise, in the next segment. Kymn was nice enough to present a check to the relay during bank night earlier this week at the State Bank of Faribault. We'll touch on that terrific event, which is coming up on Friday. We'll do a lot more conversation with the president of Faribault Area Chamber of Commerce. The president of the Faribault Area Chamber of Commerce and Tourism, Kymn Anderson, is our guest this morning on our AM Minnesota show. Of course, within the last week, the news came out. You had announced, I think it was a week ago, to your board that you wanted to stay with the chamber, but in a different capacity.
Right. It's a unique opportunity, and it remains to be seen exactly how it'll work out. But Nort Johnson came to us a couple of years ago with a tremendous amount of experience in association management and economic development and community organizing, and there's just a lot of great talent that he brings. And he's been working, as many know, in Main Street and tourism work, and it was always a conversation from the very beginning that he would perhaps eventually move into the position of chamber president. So it just seemed like the timing was right for a change, and new leadership will mean some new things for the chamber, which I think is wonderful. I've been there for 19 years, and I think we've done a lot of good things over that time, built up the programming aspect of the chamber quite a bit. But new leadership will bring some new ideas, and I'm excited to see what that will bring. I still think that I'm hoping that it'll work for me to stay in a small role where maybe I can finish up some projects that have been languishing and work on some special things that maybe nobody else is quite ready to jump into. For example, one of the things I want to spend some time on or want to complete is our Faribault's Future Leadership Program. So I'll be facilitating that from the Chamber's vantage point. We have a leadership curriculum person that comes in and provides that, but just the logistics of it and working on that. And that program is really phenomenal. I'm really pleased to say that we have an overflowing number of people that have applied to be part of it this year. So we are, for the first time in a few years, actually going to have to turn some people away because we limit the program to 20. But those people will be encouraged to stay in the process and hopefully be in the program a future year. So there's a lot. I'm eager to be working on that. But there's a few other things I'd like to still do, just changing the pace and the scope a little bit.
Sure. You'll be the president through the end of this year?
Yeah, you know, the transition has already really begun with some things that we're working on, so it's going to be kind of a team effort for the next few months while we change some things over and Nort begins to take hold of some of the things. But we have a good relationship, and then we have a great team, and we have a lot of good things that we're jumping into. So I think it'll be kind of I don't know if we can say an absolute date, but yeah, it'll be sometime before the end of the year.
Now, when I talked to you last week about your decision, it seemed to me, Kim, that you are a bigger believer now than you were when you started at the chamber, in the chamber's mission.
Oh, I always have been. I mean, back long before I took the job at the chamber, I was a very active volunteer in the chamber. I served on the board and a number of committees. You know, I think that there's a passion around that mission that many people have, hundreds and hundreds of people actually have, that helps us in the community. You know, there's no big requirement for what a chamber must do. A chamber does what a community, the specific community that they're in, needs. And so over the years we have developed programs for workforce development. We've worked on leadership. The Faribault's Future has become a program. We've added the Main Street program. There's just so much, and it's a way for people in the community, business people primarily, to gather together and consider how they can contribute back to the community that they're in. And it helps businesses in a very specific way by helping them to promote their business and helping them learn about things that they might need to learn as they're coming out of a new stage of business. But it also gives business people a chance to congregate and work together on things that matter for the business climate in a larger sense. I sometimes think people have the idea that it's for the owners of businesses or the managers of businesses to be involved, and there are a lot of those types of people involved, but chamber membership extends to everyone who works at a chamber member business, and most of the things that we do are open to members and non-members alike. So we understand that our members are the support for the organization because their membership contribution pays for for the infrastructure of the chamber and the staff to get the work done. But anybody, whether they're a brand new employee that works part-time somewhere, or they have been there for a long, long time, anybody who works at a chamber member business or specifically has a passion for one of our projects is welcome to be part of it.
Speaking of contributions, you made a very nice contribution to the Relay for Life on Monday night during Bank Night.
We had a great event several weeks ago where we brought Lori Warner in, who was a previous employee of the chamber, and she herself is a 3-time cancer survivor. And she gave a great presentation to a group of people, and thanks to the sponsorship of a number of local businesses, Borders Inn, Faribault Interiors, and the Faribault Elks Lodge specifically, and then Lori waived her normal fee for giving her presentation. We were able to pull together a $1,000 contribution to the Relay for Life, so we're very proud and happy to be able to do that. That's a wonderful.
That's greatly appreciated. I know that.
Yeah, that's a hefty goal that they have to make. So I hope that things are going well toward meeting the goal of. Is it a $100,000 goal?
Yeah, but let's see, where were we at? After Bank Night, I think it's $62,000.
Wow,
so.
That's so impressive. And kudos to you and all of the many people who work on that year after year. So that's a great community event as well.
That's Friday night. We invite everybody to come down. Opening ceremonies at 6, Survivor Lap at 6:30, luminary lighting at 8:30. We've got some music. We've got lots of fun, the silent auction. It's just a great time. I said, I think about 10 years ago, Kim, that hopefully in about 20 years we won't need the relay because we'll have a cure for cancer.
Well, the thing about cancer, as you well know, is that it's not one thing. It's hundreds of different kinds of diseases that show up as cancer. So although I'm with you in the hope that there would be a cure, what we're talking about are a lot of cures for a lot of different diseases, and I hope that we one day will have a better handle on how to prevent that from happening in the first place and to quickly cure those cases that come along. I know that every single family is touched in one way or another by this. I have a close cousin who just yesterday had significant surgery for a cancer that manifested itself completely unknown until just Monday. So in a one-day situation, just life's turned upside down. So we have a lot to pray for there and a lot to hope for.
So that's coming up on Friday. We invite everybody to come out to the Rice County Fairgrounds. There'll be a blood mobile there from 4 until 10.
Yeah.
Done that the last couple of years it's gone very well. In fact, hours have been expanded, I think, because of that. So hope a lot of people come on out. There's a blood shortage. There always is in the summer.
There always is, right. So we need to get lined up for those kinds of things. It's the last month of summer before kids start back to school, so that everybody's trying to squeeze in a lot of stuff. The Relay for Life always feels like one of those, it's in August, so we have to hurry up and get our fun in. There's a few things coming up. On August 18th, it's the Club Showdown for the car cruise nights downtown. And
you see the trophy?
Yes, the trophy is remarkable. It's just unbelievable. I've never seen anything so cool. It's on a wagon. It's decked out like you wouldn't believe. It's a actually operational grill, all welded together, fancy. It's just the coolest thing. I would love to have one of those in my backyard. It's really cool. But that event drew a lot of people last year. Lots and lots of car clubs came out, and man, there were cars all up and down Central Avenue. So if you're a car buff or just maybe like vendor food or that kind of thing, come on out on August 18th in downtown Faribault for the car cruise. Something fun to look forward to. Another fun date that we want people to get on their calendar is September 21st. That's our annual Taste of Faribault. So get ready, be hungry. We'll once again be at the American Legion, and we have started the process of securing the local vendors and caterers and restaurants and food trucks and whoever wants to come that serves food and beverage that can join us that day. Usually we're at about 30 different vendors that come and display what they have to offer. it's a great opportunity for them to showcase what they have, maybe some new menu items, maybe the way that they present their food. Last year we had a couple of new places. We know that the newest downtown place, Rough Acres, is going to be joining us, the Rough Acres Market. They have organic foods and very interesting different things. They have things like bamboo rice and just really, a lot of different things that you just wouldn't find on the regular grocery shelves, and they're a great guy. Ramon is really fun, and he's going to be there serving something interesting. So we look forward to that event on September 21st in the evening. It's the 25th year for the Taste of Faribault, so we're looking forward to
25th year for the Relay for Life.
How about that? Yeah. Well, it's good. When you hit on something good, you keep it going, right? So we've changed that event a bit over the years. It used to be a lunchtime event, and then, gosh, I'm not quite sure, but a number of years ago we moved it to the evening, and that was a great move because it made it a little more relaxed, where people have a little more time to wander and visit with one another and spend time talking to the vendors instead of being in a rush to go.
And part of that was because didn't the vendors suggest it or something?
Yeah, we always listen to what the vendors have to say. We've got a few new ways that we'll be promoting it thanks to the input of some of the vendors. We're going to do some Instagram and Facebook promotions this year to help build the interest, and we're going to allow the vendors an opportunity to speak to the crowd at some kind of format on the night of the event. So there's a few changes underway, but for most people, it's just come and enjoy and leave with a big smile on your face because you've tasted lots of good stuff.
And a full tummy.
And a full tummy. Don't have to eat for at least a day after that. So a couple of other things that we're working on, Gordy. October, I hate to think so far down the road, but I'll just mention that October is typically manufacturing month.
It'll be here before you know it, kid.
It does, and we're working on the project right now. In October, we'll be doing some tours of manufacturing facilities specifically for students. And we want students to see what is behind those big building walls and see that manufacturing is, by and large, clean and high-tech and something that they can aspire to being part of in a career path.
And make a good living at.
And make a great living. And in many cases, the entry level can be something that maybe requires a certification or a 2-year degree or some special training, but might not require a 4-year college degree. Now, many jobs within manufacturing do require that. We have engineers, and we have human resource specialists, and we have, the management, and yet there are ways for people to get started and move their way up in those kinds of careers that really becomes a great way to live, because you can make a good living to start, and then companies often will help and pay those employees to gain the additional education or knowledge they need to make some steps. So we want to expose students to those places and get them to see what's available in our community. Part of it is also to bring the manufacturers together to hear a little bit about what's going on in the state of manufacturing and some of the new trends and some of the workforce issues that they're facing, kind of to share their best practices with one another. So we look forward to that.
Dr. Parker from South Central made a presentation to the county board yesterday, which was fascinating, about what's happening at South Central. Mechatronics is their fastest growing program. It's only a couple of years old.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be at the cutting edge of these things, and thanks to Dr. Parker and her work at South Central College, we really do have a lot of available right here, right in Faribault, for people of any age to retrain, to take a look at what they would like to get involved in, or for young people to see what the future might hold for them. And there's a lot of opportunities just to check that out. Another thing coming up is back to school. So one of the projects that we do is try to extend a special, unique welcome to all the new teachers and staff at our community schools. So we check in with the people at all of our schools, public and private, and all the schools in town, and we find out how many new staff there are coming on board. And the number pretty much every year is about 115 to 120 new staff, teachers and aides, and any staff at our schools. And we ask our members to contribute some material that would help these new staff people know more about the community. So we provide them with a lot of our resources about the community demographics and the community assets and things to see and do, and our visitors information and maps and that kind of thing. And members then contribute things, all kinds of things, you know, t-shirts, water bottles, pens, calendars, who knows, so that we can assemble a nice gift bag and welcome those people. So if anybody's listening and they want to make a contribution to that effort, they can bring in about 115 items. The thing is, they don't all have to be the same. So if you've got a little, you know, storehouse of things and you got 10 of this and 20 of that, bring them on in and we'll get them divided up into the gift bags that we prepare for the new teachers.
So this is at one site?
Pardon me?
This event is, you said, all the...
No, we actually make the delivery to each school.
Okay.
And make some effort to be on their agenda to welcome them and give them just a warm welcome, and then hand out the gift bags. Of course, the largest number is at Faribault Public Schools, and that number, they meet before the first day of workshop. All the new staff meets, and that's when we're able to greet them and pass that information along.
Well, that's pretty cool.
It is, yeah. Well, you know, there's a lot of little projects like that that make up the interesting work of the chamber. You know, some of it is the events that we always talk about, the taste and the gala and the, you know, car cruises and things like that. But it's really supplemented, and there's a lot more of those groups that get together. For example, our Ag Committee. I mean, we talk about the Ag Committee on this radio station quite a bit because there's a lot that group does. But coming up on September 9th, the Ag Committee is part of a larger group that's planning Family Day at the Farmers Market. So the Farmers Market right here in Central Park, a beautiful, wonderful park where the Farmers Market has been there for years and years. On Family Day, a number of organizations, led primarily by the Farmers Market Organization and Josh Ramaker from Rice County Public Health or Statewide Health Improvement Program, host this Family Day. So people bring in farm animals for the kids to see, and we've got games to play and vegetables to taste. And one of the sponsors is Jenny-O Turkey Store, and they provide a little voucher for kids to be able to purchase something from one of the farmers market vendors. So maybe they've, you know, never tried homemade green beans or homegrown green beans, or, you know, maybe there's something else that they'd like to try. It's a great way to get people to come out to the farmers market and enjoy something different and have some fun. There's usually music in the park and games and face painting, and so there's another date and another chamber committee involved in something that is a community-wide effort, but through the chamber's involvement, we're able to give away books to kids about farming and about how does food end up on the, you know, a lot of kids don't know how food comes. They think it, you know, grows in the grocery store and shows up in their kitchen. So we're happy to kind of provide some of that, and there's a lot of good that comes out of that group. So
yeah, one of the fair royalties said that she was working with some little kids. One of them specifically thought that chocolate milk came from a brown cow.
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, kids just don't know these things. So it's our job to teach them, and our Ag Committee does a number of projects that do help with that, and of course Jerry Grosskreutz is very, very active in that, and we appreciate that. You know, Gordy, there's one more thing I'd like to talk about, and I know that we're probably running out of time here, but folks maybe have been driving by the chamber lately and seeing some activity in the parking lot, and we have a mural mosaic being placed on the front of the building. It's a memorial in honor of our friend Barb Larson, and the mosaic is a beautiful scene that can be seen in many places around Faribault, of a lake with some flowers and a beautiful sky, and there appears to be a river as part of it. It was a commissioned piece of art that our board selected from a pretty large group of artists that submitted ideas for a memorial for Barb, and now it is nearly complete. As we're sitting here, I'm getting texts from the artist, and she's going to come in later today to do some of the finishing of it. It requires kind of a finish coat on top of the grout, and it will be framed, and there'll be a plaque placed in dedication of the mosaic. But it's just absolutely lovely, and we are very pleased that we're able to do that. There'll be a dedication ceremony in a few weeks toward the end of the month, and it's just something that we feel will help us get to one more level of healing, and bring a really peaceful and joyful image to the chamber in front of the building.
We'll have to get a picture of it and put it up on the website.
Absolutely, I'll be glad to send that to you. It's really, really pretty. It will be even better once that finished coat goes on, because
sure.
Right now, if you've done any tiling, there's sort of that dusty, hazy look that's on it right now, but it'll shine up pretty well in the next few days. So I wanted people to be aware of what that is, and let them know that they're welcome to come by and take a look at it.
Sounds awesome. Thanks, Kim.
Always a pleasure, Gordy.
Yeah, appreciate your stopping by. Kymn Anderson, the president of the Faribault Area Chamber of Commerce and Tourism, our guest on AM Minnesota today. Tomorrow I've got 2 confirmed of the 4 honorary co-chairs of the Relay for Life that will be in studio helping share their story, giving us a preview, I guess, of the story they'll share on Friday night down on the Rice County Fairgrounds. You're in tune to KDHL AM Faribault, Minnesota.